Hello, lovely people. I'm recording this really quite late in the day for my daily podcast. I normally have it done long before now, but I've had a really busy day today. And so I'm doing this quite late. And it's got me thinking really to the whole idea of why I only do quite a short podcast. There's a couple of reasons for that. One is to be kind of kind to you, so you don't have to invest an awful lot. You can just get a couple of minutes and get some value from it, hopefully. But also it's because if I'm going to do something on a regular basis, I need to decide to do something that is doable. And this relates to the way that we change, because often when we set ourselves a goal, we have a really massive goal. And the massive goal can kind of ensure that we don't do anything at all, because we either climb Mount Everest or we don't move at all. And so the reason I'm referring back to the podcast is, in my life, this is one of many examples where, for myself, I start really small. And if I'm wanting to do something, if I'm wanting to try and move in the right direction, I just start with a small step. I start with a step that is bigger than what I'm doing at the moment, but so small that I can actually get it done. I can actually tick that box and feel a sense of achievement. Now, I've tried podcasts in the past and run podcasts in the past, and they've been like hour-long interviews and they've required lots of reading in preparation. And so before long, it becomes quite arduous, and I give up. And so something like this, even now, I'm recording this let me look at my watch. It's just turned 10 o'clock at night. And I should really be thinking about going to bed. But it's easy enough just to dial in this podcast, because I know it's not going to take long. I haven't set myself a big target. All I've done is decided just to send in a few minutes of stuff which might actually be useful to you. Hopefully will be. I haven't got lots of preparation, an hour-long interview to do. I just switch on the microphone and start talking for a few minutes. And I feel as though I can do that. It's just a conversation after all, and quite a short one. So I'm going to stop talking now and just leave you with the kind of underlying message of this particular episode, which is, if you want to do something, especially if it's something that you want to do regularly, you can actually start small. And by starting small, it will enable you to keep going. And when you keep going, magic happens. You see, by the end of the year, I will have 365 podcasts. Whereas if I just started big and tried to do like an hour-long interview with all the research and the reading that comes with it and planning my questions, well, I probably wouldn't do many at all, would I? Because it's such a big wall to climb over just to get it done. So when you're planning your change, when you're planning the change for you, lower the bar for yourself. Set the bar a little bit lower. And just set yourself a target of doing something which is a tiny step. Because the thing about tiny steps is, the size of the step doesn't necessarily relate to the size of the difference that step makes. So you can make a tiny step, but it could make a huge, huge difference for you. Being one step forward just changes your perspective. And you might be able to see something different that you wouldn't have seen 1 or even 2 steps ago. So that's my message to you. If you're going to make a change, don't worry about it being a massive change. Just do the smallest thing that you know that you can do, and you'll be one tiny step in the right direction. And because it's a tiny step, you'll likely be able to make the next tiny step and the next tiny step. And before you know it, with that consistency, you'll look back and you'll realise you're actually a long way forward and you've made an awful lot of change. So if you've enjoyed this episode, this lovely little short episode, this low bar episode where I don't have to do too much and still I have another podcast episode to show for it. If you've enjoyed it and you like this idea, maybe you'd like to work with me, you can go to liverpoolpsychotherapy.co.uk. You can see me in person, or you can do it online, if you're quite a distance away. And I'll see you on the next podcast. Bye now.